On activity 20, make sure your name is at the top, because otherwise I don't know that it's you. And then we're going to be simplifying each fraction. This is the same type of thing that we did on Monday of this week. So we're going to be using prime factorization. That's either the tree or the upside down birthday cake, whichever one you want to use. And then we're going to be writing it out and then crossing through things. Or you now know the exponent rules, so you will be able to do that as well if that one is easier for you. So up here, I'm going to write notebook paper because for a lot of you it might be easier to write on a piece of notebook paper, but some of you guys like to think that there's enough room right here, and that may be true for you. And then I'm going to put right answer next to question. Because then when you go to fill this back in, you're going to need to know what the answer was, because there's more than one of some of these things. As well as you should have plenty of time to get this picture done in class. For those of you who don't want to fill it in, you should be able to go ahead and have plenty of time to do that. And otherwise, I'm not going to know what your answer is. So you might want to grab a piece of notebook paper, but we'll try this here for a little bit without it. So at the top, I would go ahead and write those prime numbers that we're going to be using a lot. So 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. Probably won't need to use any ones bigger than that, but that's a good place to start. So right here, 2 is already a prime number, so we don't need to do the prime factorization. 3 is already a prime number, we don't need to do the prime factorization. And these don't have any exponents, so they're already ready to go. So this has an invisible little 1 up here if you don't see anything else. So if we were going to use exponent rules, we could say 1 minus 1 would be 0. So we're going to end up with no x's. Or, since there's 1 on top and 1 on bottom, we can use a slashing rule and take them out. And so on top, we're left with just a 2. And on bottom, we're left with just a 3. That's my answer. Okay, down here. This one, I have a 3 and an x. That's a prime. I can't do anything more with it. 6, though, can be a 2 times a 3. So now I can cancel the 3's out. And then on top, I have just an x. And on bottom, I have just a 2. Can't do anything more with it. That's it. On this one, 5 times an x over 2 times 5 times x. If you want, to the side or up here, you could do the prime factorization. 2 and 5. That's what I did. We've done these for a while, so I think some of you guys are starting to remember which some of the primes are pretty quickly, and so you don't have to write them all out. So I can cross out my 5's, I can cross out my x's. So on bottom, I have a 2. On top, there's nothing really left. So we're going to just put, if you have nothing left, we'll put a 1. It's just like that Taylor Swift song. If you've got a blank space, baby, then just write a 1. Don't tell Taylor Swift I changed her song. But if you end up with a blank space and there's nothing left to write, just write a 1. Okay, so that's my answer. That's all I get, 1/2. There aren't any more x's because these canceled out. That's it. Okay, on this one, we can do prime factorization of 6. If you want to write it out up here. 2 times 3. Those are both primes, so those are what we'll use. So for 6, we have a 2 times a 3 times an x times an x. And on bottom, 2 is a prime times an x. So we cross out some 2's, cross out some x's, and we have a 3 and 1 x left. On bottom, you have a blank space and there's nothing left to write. Just write a 1. Now, there's this rule that we have about anything over 1 is itself. So, 8 over 1 equals 8. 2 over 1 equals 2. Kittens over 1 equals kittens. So, 3x over 1 equals 3x. Because this is the way it's going to be over here on, like there's one right there, 3x. It's that one. So we also could have used the exponent rule if we wanted to. We could have simplified this part of the fraction, and then right here we have x squared over x to the first power. So 2 minus 1 would be 2. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 minus 1 would be 1. So here we have x to the 1. So we get the same thing even if you want to subtract. So right here, I already know from up here, 6 is 2 and 3. And I know that 4 is 2 times 2. So I have a 2 times a 3 times an x times an x, because it says x squared. So that means I have to have 2 of them. On bottom, I have a 2 times a 2 for the 4. And then I have 3 x's. 1, 2, 3. So some 2's will cancel out. Some x's will cancel out. So I'm left with, on top, I just have a 3. On bottom, I have a 2 and an x. Those are just going to hang out on the bottom there. We're just going to leave them. That's where they were. Okay, I will do one more with you guys, and then you're on your own. I think this one shouldn't be too bad. So let's do this one. So 18, 2 and 9. 9 would be 3 and 3. So 2, 3, 3. So for 18, 2 times 3 times 3. And then 12 would be 2 and 6. And 6 is 2 and 3. So 2, 2, 3. This one, 18 was 2, 3, 3. 12 is 2, 2, 3. Don't get them mixed up. 2 times 2 times 3. Now I got some variables I have to do. So on top I have 1x and 2 y's. This squared only goes with this y. It doesn't have anything at all to do with the x. The x has a little 1. And then on bottom I have 2 x's and then a y with a 1. So now I can go through and cross lots of things out. These y's will cancel. These x's will cancel each other out. Some 3's will cancel each other out, and these 2's, because there's some on top and bottom of all those. So on top, I'm left with a 3y, and on bottom I have a 2x. At this point, you can look at this and say, is there anything else that still is doubled that I didn't get rid of? Like if there's a y here, then we would know that we made mistakes that could cancel each other out. But we didn't, because we did it right. So, here's my answer. So, you guys have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 8 for you to do on your own. And it's a review of the stuff that we did on Monday. So, you have this to get done and anything else from this week that you have not already finished. Thanks.